John 18 and verse 20, I want you to see how Jesus operated. If Jesus did anything in secret, it says, Jesus answered him, I spake openly to the world. I ever taught in the synagogue and in the temple, whither the Jews always resort, and in secret have I said nothing. Did Jesus do anything in secret? Jesus did nothing in secret. Nothing at all did Jesus do in secret. As we're coming back to Revelation 17, I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of these current events with Conclave, this movie that was just released that deals with choosing the next pope. Now, those of you that have been with us over the years, you know that since 2018 or 19, I've been preaching that Pope Francis is not the last pope, that there will be another pope. I've been preaching that for some years now. And so with that, Conclave is about the next pope. So basically, this is kind of predictive programming, getting you ready for another pope and showing you the secrets and scandals that are going on in the Catholic Church and why you should have nothing to do with the Catholic Church. All right. Notice here another article. It says, Vatican renews secret accord with China on bishop appointments and extends to 4-year period. So what kind of accord? A secret accord. Ungodly. Ungodly. I want you to see this. Notice this article. It says, the Pope is up to something. He's on a roll of year-end power moves. Well, what's the Pope up to? He's making power moves at the end of the year, in other words, is what they're saying. Notice here what it says. It says the Pope is about to turn 88, and it seems he may, as he ponders his legacy, be caring a bit less about what his critics think. Skip down to the next section. In a ceremony on Saturday, Pope Francis formally welcomed 21 new cardinals into the church's top leadership rank. It was the 10th time in 12 years that he has elevated another crop of cardinals, which means he has named 110 of the 140 men currently eligible to vote for the next pope. In doing so, he has all but guaranteed that his successor will not be a conservative Italian looking to restore a church's medieval character. The cardinals who will vote at the next conclave come from all over the world and have very different approaches to engaging with modern society. So basically, what the Pope has done is created a more liberal voting bloc for who the next Pope is. Therefore, making sure that his successor will be liberal like him is essentially what he's doing. So he's creating the right environment so that whoever he wants to be in, more than likely will be in, or individuals that are of his same ideology, of his same mindset, is what he's done. So the Pope is busy ordaining cardinals. We brought up the movie Conclave and how that movie is talking about the next Pope. We've been sharing since about 2018 that Pope Francis will not be the last Pope. How can we prove this from the Bible? 2 ways. When you understand Revelation 18 talks about lightening the earth with the glory of God. When you consider God lightening the earth with his glory, it means a time where the whole world hears the gospel. The whole world hears the truth. We see that in scripture on 2 other different instances. One time where Joseph interpreted Pharaoh's dream correctly. Pharaoh wore a triple mitre crown, meaning a crown with 3 levels. Joseph interpreted the dream correctly. He forgave his brothers, and the whole world heard the gospel. The whole world heard the truth. The whole world heard about prophecy. You see that? The whole world, based on him interpreting a dream correctly. in the days of Joseph. Now, Joseph, with Pharaoh, the Pharaoh wore a triple mitred crown. There was one Pharaoh that was ruling while Joseph was alive, but once Pharaoh died, the Pharaoh that brought in the death penalty to kill all the baby boys in Exodus chapter 1 and 2 was a new Pharaoh. So Pharaoh is an example of the Pope. Why? Because the Pope also wears a triple mitred crown. So Pharaoh is a type, an example of the Pope. That's the first example. The second example is in the book of Daniel, where you have the king of Babylon. Literal Babylon was Nebuchadnezzar. Daniel interpreted the dream correctly, and the whole world heard the gospel. The whole world heard prophecy through an interpretation of a dream. Once you look at the time when probation closed for Babylon, you had a new king. It wasn't Nebuchadnezzar, it was Belshazzar, Daniel chapter 5. Belshazzar. So there was a change in the kings of Babylon during the life of the one who interpreted the dream correctly, at a time where the whole world heard a gospel, at the time of the fourth angel. Nebuchadnezzar was the first king of Babylon. Then you had a new king of Babylon, Belshazzar. Babylon of old is a type and example of Babylon in Revelation 17, the Catholic Church. Another way we can prove that, Babylon passed a law. Everybody had to bow down to the image. What do they do in the Catholic Church? Bow down to images or statues of Virgin Mary. You see in the correlation between Babylon there? False worship promoted in literal Babylon in Daniel's day, false worship promoted in spiritual Babylon, the Catholic Church, in these last days. God is using the literal to foreshadow the spiritual. So just as there was a change in the kingships in the days of Joseph, when the whole world heard the gospel, there was a change in the pharaohs. Likewise, there was a change in the kings of Babylon during the days of Daniel. God foreshadowing there will be a change in the days of Elijah of the popes. There will be a change in popes. Confirmation was in the dream that God gave, that we shared when Trump kisses a woman in the Catholic Church. Trump kissed the woman in the Catholic Church. We have a video that shares a dream. And in that dream, you have the Pope standing at the front of the Catholic Church. And there was another man who ended up coming and speaking afterwards. And that second man represents the next Pope in that dream.
Okay. So then Trump gets up. After talking to this woman, the Pope's giving a speech. The Pope quit giving his speech. Now, I don't know if Donald Trump was supposed to go up and give a speech as like he was there waiting, or if he had already given his speech. I don't know. But there was another man that got up there. He had dark hair, but I wasn't paying attention because I was looking at what Trump was doing. And then this is what happened next. He got up.
I rest my case.